Boredom is a healthy thing to have. You get creative, you learn a lot about yourself, you need space and time. So scheduling and structuring a kid's day or week or summer so that there is none of that space, white space, is not a healthy, productive thing for your child. Let's say you come to me as my child and you say, I'm bored. I want every parent's response to be, what will you do about that?
I'm Tiffany Souter, entrepreneur, wife, mom to 4 girls, and a woman figuring it out just like you. Come on, let's go build your life of and.
I have said this before, and I mean it literally every time. Summer is the hardest season to be a working parent. There's no bus, there's no schedule, there's no structure that school provides without you having to build it yourself. And every open hour is an invitation for someone to be bored on a screen, in an argument, or wandering into your office asking what's for lunch. I've done 16 summers as a working mom, and the ones that worked were the ones where I look back and think that was actually a great summer, or the ones where I had a plan, the right mindset going in. Today, Michelle Gambs is back, and we're talking about how to parent well in the summer season. Not just survive it, actually parent it well. Technology boundaries, boredom, teaching and training your kids to do more, and how to stop spending the whole summer nagging, cleaning up, and honestly just stressed out. If you're new to Michelle's work and style, she's a psychotherapist, a parenting coach, and a rare expert who can translate 20 years of clinical training into something you can actually use on a Tuesday night when everything is falling apart. If you haven't heard her other episodes, the links are in show notes. You're going to love her, you're going to love them, and let's get to it. Here we go, Michelle. We're going to talk parenting in summer.
Yes, let's.
Thanks for joining me. Okay, so I think about going into summer. There is a day, we all know summer's going to start. Last day of school hits, and there is almost this invisible infrastructure that comes with school day. The kids know what time they need to be dressed by. There's kind of a forced simplicity for a lot of us on what breakfast is. They decide, either the school decides what they're going to eat for lunch, or they have to decide it before they pack their lunch. There's all these questions taken out of a day with a school structure. So my question to you is how do we move it from a free-for-all and all of this micro-solving, which we were talking about a little bit even before we pushed record here, and how do we go into summer with a real plan with our kids, for ourselves, for all the time available?
These are great questions. And again, I think we need a balance of any of it because, I don't know, do you remember The Love Boat? Julie McCoy on The Love Boat?
I mean, I know about it, but okay.
Because it's
just
like a cruise director.
Yeah.
Many parents think that they're meant to be cruise directors of their children's lives and keep everything structured, and they're going to be in this camp, which it's not really camp. I have a problem with that. It's like a class. You're not in camp. Camp is away in nature. It's not a camp. This is like a class you're taking. And that they need a camp, whatever, every week to keep them busy. And yeah, I don't agree with that. We do need plans. We do need structure, and predictability brings peace. That's what you're talking about school provides. There's predictability and expectations. And none of that happens in the summer, which is a gift. And it can make you all crazy. So, yes.
So I think there's a couple of things here. One is parents send kids to camp sometimes as a proxy for childcare. It's hey, look,
necessary.
I need them to be able to go here. I think sometimes we're afraid to have them home if you work from home because it feels like the door became transparent and you're just out. I don't want to feel the kids' disappointment that I can't play with them. I don't want to have to tell them no all day long, that I can't go do something. That creates this inner tension.
Guilt.
With the parent.
It's not just summer, Tiffany. This is a real issue, I think, too, with working at home with children, period. Because you're asking a lot of a child to keep away from you, the safe human that's meant to provide these things. And so, you feel it, they feel it. I never felt the same when my children are around versus when they're not. I have a different piece in terms of focus of if I'm going to be working.
That's true.
Than when they are around, because you can't turn that off, especially as a mother. You're just in that mode. And so to me, I think that's a hard thing. I understand all of that. You need to leave or they need to leave if there's work going on, in my opinion, period. To be cleaner with the boundaries, I think that's too much to expect, especially small children. They don't have a clue.
You know, that's so interesting when you frame it that way of like to ask them to be away from their safe human, because that is not how you think about it as a parent. Like, I have someone here to watch you. Can you just please stay there? So you are saying if you do work from home, if that's your normal infrastructure, maybe work from a co-working space during the summer.
Absolutely.
So that tension is not inherent. We cannot remove it. It's part of the connection between parent and child.
Save yourself.
I think that's an interesting thing. So if our kids are going to be home, we can't create some structure around it where they're just going to be able to entertain themselves. Somebody needs to go somewhere. How do we set expectations, like from a parenting perspective?
Yep.
To say, we need to be among the living at a certain time. And here's what I mean by that. It means you need to be out of bed. You need to... How do we manage giving our kids, maybe this is more clearly said, how do I manage having clear expectations of structure, because that does create peace and expectation, and also know they're kids. This is a season for them to sleep in a little. This is a season for them, a teenager, to be able to teenage a little bit. How do we think about that from a parenting perspective?
Okay, so first, again, you have a range. So we have teenage expectations, then we have these younger kids in your family.
Yep.
Okay, that are different to me.
Yep.
Because the biorhythm and the circadian rhythm changes for a teenager that's different for your 5-year-old. She's going to be up early and the other ones are not. That's a reality.
That is true.
You don't want the same. You're not going to give the same expectation, in my opinion. That's not realistic. And I agree with you. I like the concept of bookends. Like, if you think for any kind of boundary with kids, that there's bookends. Within the bookends, they have freedom of choice, but these are the framework. So within the structure. So for me, when we talk about nagging, like, nobody wants to do that. You don't want to do it. They don't want to hear it. So let's all be clear. That is not welcomed, period. And so how do we circumvent that? Okay, so if I'm sick of saying it, they're sick of hearing it. And I would have to remind myself that. If I'm sick of saying it, they're sick of hearing it, and I need to do something different. So for instance, with my kids running around in their pajamas and they haven't brushed their teeth and they're just, it's like, this is summer and you want them to be free. And I just finally said, okay, here's the deal, you two. By 10 o'clock in the morning, if you have not brushed your teeth and gotten yourself prepared for a day, you will not be having sweets, sugar in a mouth that hasn't been cared for, because I'm not reminding you.
So you articulate the expectation, give them flexibility up until this thing.
Bookend.
And then you define a consequence if they don't do it. I'm not going to remind you. I'm not going to tell you, the thing. This just is the thing.
That's right. No nagging.
So the other thing I want to is that you told me in a previous conversation, let the kid pick the consequence.
Not exactly.
Tell me what you said.
So, say more.
I'll tell you what I remember,
what
and then I'll tell you what I did, and it worked very well. So maybe then remind me what it is that maybe you said. It's like, so this happened a couple months ago. Quincy lied to me.
Yes.
And she knew it, and I was like, honey, there's going to be a consequence. And then my brain just sort of broke. I couldn't think of anything that good.
Yeah, you freeze.
Because you have said, you've trained me well to say the consequence needs to be tied to the infraction or whatever.
Right. Related to it. Yes, please.
And I was just like, I don't know. And I was like, what do you think the consequence should be? And she ended up picking, I don't think I should have any sweets for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Which is not really tied to lying. But her self-management of that consequence was to an impeccable level of care.
She chose it.
Because I had let her choose it.
That's right. She has power.
So maybe that is not, maybe I misremembered
no, you're doing great.
The rule, but that was an interesting thing for me to watch play out, because she told everybody for the rest of the day, I can't have any sweets because I lied to mom. She even wrote me a little apology card.
Okay.
She felt it so acutely, and she had such ownership over the consequence. I was not left to nag.
Okay, I love that.
So remind us then what the principle is, when it is safe to let the child, I don't know if choose from a list of consequences or come up with their own, but it was very interesting to watch it play out. She's 5.
I love that for you and her. That's an option. I'm just saying I don't want it to be the open-ended, let your kid choose their consequence, because I do want it to be related for the most part, and sweets aren't related to lying.
Right,
So that. But, I've had kids, if you ask them what should happen, well, you can spank me. We're not going to do that. So it's like, I'm not opposed to having their input, especially if they're accustomed to consequences. What do you think should happen? I think that's great, actually. So, and it doesn't have to come from them.
So to keep us from nagging, which
Yes.
is just saying, I'm repeating it over and over and over again, and I feel like I'm saying this into the abyss.
Yes.
We're going to set up a range of, hey, this is sort of the tolerance window.
Yep.
And then when you're designing the consequence, you can stop and say, these are kind of where I'm headed.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to put on the list of things we could consider.
Yes.
But we're not going to decide it at the point of infraction. We're going to decide it before.
Okay, yes.
Is that right?
I think that's great. And you can do it either way. But I'm just saying, giving kids expectations around summer, like days, and especially like she doesn't know a calendar of what's coming. Your 5-year-old, so it's kind of like you kind of got to give her a little heads up about, this is a mommy day, this is a class day, this is a whatever, tomorrow is that, to give her some predictability instead of the wake up in the morning and go, hey, guess what's happening. Like, she needs a little notice too. Like, predictability creates peace and calm and ease and safety. And I don't want every minute structured. Can we talk about boredom? Okay.
Let's talk about that.
So I got a problem with this because boredom is a healthy thing to have. Very healthy. You get creative, you learn a lot about yourself, you need space and time. So scheduling and structuring a kid's day or week or summer so that there is none of that space, white space, is not a healthy, productive thing for your child. So let's say you come to me as my child and you say, I'm bored. I want every parent's response to be, what will you do about that? Do not solve their problem. Don't offer any solutions. Because if I say to you, Tiffany, well, Quincy, you could, color, or you could, use that sewing thing we got, or you could go outside on the swings. How many of those are you going to pick?
None of them.
None, because I set them. Because that's about power.
Yeah.
She needs to choose for herself. You say, I'm bored. Yeah, it sounds like a problem for you. I wonder what you'll do.
But at that age, do they have the ability to think of stuff? Because
Yep.
I feel like my kids forget the stuff we have. Like, hey, go look in the game closet. Go look in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, under 4, they need help. Over 4, they don't.
Okay.
If you want to, do you want some ideas, Quincy? She'll go, no, and stomp away. Mm-hmm. Or she'll go, yeah, do you have any ideas? I promise you she's not going to do any that you say.
Even if she says, yes, I want your ideas.
Yeah. You just see for fun.
Okay, I
but
will
it's
do
because they resist. I mean, she might be open.
That's true. They
but
do
resist-
kind of hate everything.
They
that
do
you say.
because it's about power. That's the only reason I need to choose it. That's why I'm saying save yourself, save your energy. Don't give the problem back. Think of it like problems have owners. This is not just you with your children. This is anywhere. Problems have owners. So me being bored, I'm trying to lob you my problem, Tiffany. Think of it like a tennis ball. Give me back the ball.
So boredom is a power word, actually? Kind of?
Kind of. I want you to solve my
Fascinating.
problem.
That's so true.
I want you to solve my problem.
Yes.
I have all these problems. Could you just solve? I'm helpless and I'm a victim. And can you just solve my problems for me? And I'm going to resist everything you say.
And I think as working parents, we take it a step further in that we imagine parents who aren't working, their kids aren't bored. And so we make this like a identity thing where it's like, my kids are bored because I'm working and distracted. You know, we like snowball into it, not only becoming the issue about the kid being bored. That is a different conversation. An issue about the kid being bored. But we make it about even our own insecurity in that maybe we created this moment. Don't you think that's true?
Oh, it's the biggest feeling stopper for parents is solving the child's problem. Because you want to relieve their pain and suffering, and I don't want you, and so then it says something about me if I let you sit in pain and suffering. No, let them. Don't solve their problems, because then you're robbing them of an opportunity to build muscle. So she's building muscle by solving her own problem. So kids, when you say parents who, quote, aren't working, I want those kids to be bored too. I want every kid to be
You're
bored.
saying all of them.
Everybody.
So, but let's talk about how this actually plays out. So my kid comes to me and says, I'm bored. And I say, that sounds like a you problem. They aren't going to be like, okay. They're going to be like, but Mom, I'm so bored. Like,
Yes.
They're likely going to escalate.
Okay.
Correct?
But I don't want it to be, it sounds like a you problem. That's kind of, it's a little bitchy.
Well, I might say it that way. So how do I say it differently? Let's be very literal. Sounds a little itchy.
Well, I mean, I want it to be authentically soft, which is, yeah, I hear you. That sounds like a problem for you. That sounds like a problem for you.
Yeah.
I wonder what you'll do about that. That's softer than that's a you problem. I don't have,
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
like,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Or I'm excited to see what you do about that.
That's great. Yeah, I see. I wonder what you'll do about that. And because then she's sitting with, this is my problem. And I have to go stomp away and figure it out. But the more you do it, the more practice she will get at that. And if she does want ideas, I'd be willing to offer some, but she doesn't really. She just wants to complain.
Because that is actually giving her something to do with her time.
Well, yeah. Well, it's attention. It's negative
Yeah.
attention. At least I'm getting your attention, especially if you're working, and I just got your negative attention.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to set up like a YouTube cam, show you guys what happens. And I very softly say, this is not a me problem. Honey, I'm excited to see how you solve that.
No, it doesn't, like I said, it can be soft. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
wonder
I-
what you'll
I-
do.
yeah.
I wonder what you'll
We can do that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wonder what you'll do. Yeah.
All right, so I want to go into one of the central tensions for summer is around screens.
Oh, gosh.
And all of our ideas are probably bad ones, but my first ones are things like limits and
Necessary.
so
Keep going.
talk us through. Yeah. So
Necessary.
what is a framework that we can use for technology in the summer? I tend to like to get ahead of what I think is going to be a drama moment. So I would be like, hey guys, I can see us fighting about screens this summer. Let's talk about how we can avoid that. Let's talk about, like, I don't know, it's just kind of where my brain is going. I don't
Good.
really have any words to fill in, bitchy
Good.
or otherwise, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
How do we get ahead of this as parents? I think especially for boys. I don't have boys, but I feel like technology is even more
It is.
of a magnetic attraction.
It is.
The competition of it, the fighting of it, the racing of it, all of that is very gamey. So mine is more like my girls want to watch a show or YouTube creators that make me want to die with the fast cuts.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Reducing attention spans. You are placing yourself between them and an addiction. This is every parent's role. It totally sucks. And it's necessary. It's a necessary place that you must do. Otherwise, to just sort of wave your hands in the air, you are harming your child,
okay.
harming them. If we didn't have screens, it'd be a much easier job to parent. That is the biggest issue going on. You have to put yourself between them and an addiction. And you see how miserable it is and how irritable they are to interrupt that addiction. And then you see how pleasant they are when they are not on that addiction and much more creative and less bored. They're going to be bored the minute they get off of that thing. I wonder what you'll do. They have to sit in their own energy and not be externally stimulated.
It's like a little like dopamine like
Huge.
cliff
Huge.
chemically in your body.
It is
Yeah.
a huge one, and it gets fatigued with all of that consumption. It gets fatigued. So therefore, then low dopamine activities, what a term, like social distancing, like these are all terms. Low dopamine activities like playing in the yard, reading a book, going on a walk with your dog become really boring when really it's the most satisfying things to do.
I want to take a quick moment to thank my partners at Share Your Genius. For the past 4 years, they have been an incredible part of my journey behind the microphone. Share Your Genius is a content and podcast production agency that helps leaders and brands bring their message to life. So whether you're trying to find your voice, develop a content strategy, or get your leader behind a microphone, they're going to help you make it simple, strategic, and impactful.
So your kids are out of the house.
Yep.
But if you had an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old, and an 18-year-old in your house, which is sort of like early technology vibes to full on, my friends are on my phone.
Yeah.
What would some of the boundaries you would create sound like? Is it time oriented, time of day oriented, app usage oriented, where your phone is oriented? Like how
These
would
are all important.
how would you practically frame that up?
So it's all important, and I just want you to know it's thankless. It's all thankless and necessary, vital, in fact. Okay, so I am not up on all the apps and ways you can manage screen time. I hear about them, like Brick. I've heard about people manage, that you can manage limit these apps and all of that. So I know there's ways, and we need to do them. Yes, locations, that they all need to be plugged in a certain area so you can visually see these things. I like what you said about time of day. It is hellish to give your kids technology early in the AM, because they're coming off that cliff then, and you've impacted their entire day, versus like late in the day or afternoon, after you have any kind of nap time or quiet time. Even if they're not napping, quiet time is something I would absolutely implement for any age kids, adults too, that after kids stop napping, that you have quiet time, which can be 45 minutes, an hour. You set a timer and everybody's separating to go their own ways. You don't need to sleep, but you do need to be on your own, reading a book, whatever you're doing, not on screens. Mm-hmm. It's a way to recenter in the middle of the day to make it through the rest of the day. The community of us all taking breaks, and then we rejoin, and you'll notice how happier everyone is after any kind of quiet time. So if I was going to introduce screens in those, it would be after that.
Yeah.
After that.
After quiet time.
After that.
Until then, it's a screen-free zone.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. People do it before breakfast, before kids go to school, and I'm like, oh my God, this is hell. Mm-hmm. It's just hell, because you're trying to get them off an addiction. You'll have much more peace not introducing it early in the day.
That's so fascinating. I am observing my own behavior this morning. I was prepping for some stuff. I wanted Quincy locked to a screen for 20 minutes so I could get some stuff done. Mm-hmm. And she asked for me to turn on this YouTube creator that they like to watch. And my brain was rattling in my brain 2 minutes into it. Like, I was like, I cannot take this. Mm-hmm. I can now have an understanding why, because it was just like this fast cut stuff. There was no chance she was going to take a bite of her breakfast. Mm-hmm. With that, like what you say, like addiction level attention span on. I was like fascinated to see how she hadn't moved and how my brain was rattling. Mm-mm. And it was designed to create that exact moment for her.
Yeah. Oh, and food and screens do not go together. They just don't. No, because you're taking somebody's attention away from their body to tune into, how do I feel eating this? When am I full? Nope, no attention to that. Okay. No conversation happening either. Mm-hmm. No, that's again a low dopamine activity. I know I'm really far out with this. Like, even going to movies, I was like, I'm not buying snacks for them to mindless eat while we're watching it, and it's all for shit food too. Mm-hmm. No, I don't want mindless eating being something I condition in my children. That
is a really powerful thing. It is not something we think about very often.
No, yeah, mindless. Like, no, I want them to tune in. How do they feel? When are they full? We actually can have any kind of conversation. I cannot stand being in a sports bar, or any kind of restaurant, and there's a TV on, because I don't want to be watching TV, yet it's going to pull my attention. Mm-hmm. So that's simply the technology. There are a lot of salaries that go into getting us to attend to that. Mm-hmm. So
really, really good point.
Yeah, so just try to eliminate any of that if you want peace.
When you talk about consequences related to the offense.
Yes.
Let's just sort of like go through the mental exercise of saying, okay, parents, if you need to set up boundaries with technology, we are saying 100% of us need to do that.
Yes.
What's the pocket O consequences? Let's you and I just sort of like verbally brainstorm through these things that we would put in place if they don't stay within the boundaries that we've established.
Oh, yes.
Is it just we take it away?
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Beyond food and shelter, those are needs. Everything else is a want. So these are privileges. Starbucks is a privilege, just to remind all children. Starbucks is a privilege. iPads are a privilege. Cell phones are a privilege. Cars are privileges. These are all privileges. These are not rights. So let's be clear the difference between needs and wants. Okay? So this is not a need of yours. You have no right to these things. So I want you to lead with that. Okay. This is a privilege, and privileges, you demonstrate responsibility with said privilege, and you get said privilege again. You demonstrate that you cannot manage that privilege, you are going to take a break from said privilege. Whether that is the curfew and you're honoring the curfew, then you get to go out again tomorrow night. If you don't honor the curfew, you'll be in tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. If you are managing the car in the way that we say, whatever needs to be done with the car, you can have the car again tomorrow night. Or next weekend, you will not be having the car because you did not honor what we said. Same with technology. You manage it, you get whatever you'd all decide. We get, and you want them as part of that collaborative, like just like you did with Quincy and the brainstorming, they have power in it and accountability. So for the summer, what do you think about this amount, and that we all agree, okay? And then what happens when you don't? Because it's a guarantee that they don't, okay? Because they're built in to get addicted. So they may have timers, digital timers with it. Well, I don't know, but they have to manage it. It's on them to manage. Remember, problems have owners. Their problem to manage their privilege. Not your problem. That's crazy making. Parents running around trying to manage that or get it from them. Oh, that's horrific. So no problem. I like the phrase, no problem. It's no problem if you go over. You will not be having it tomorrow.
I love that. It's no problem if you do.
No, it's no problem.
Yeah.
It's no problem. It will not be available to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's on you. Again, full accountability to manage your privilege.
Yeah. There's app usage limits you can set, which to me, I even have it on Instagram.
Yes.
I had to have it set for 10 minutes a day, and it just creates a conscious awareness.
Yes.
Of like, oh,
yes.
Okay, 10 minutes is up. I'm a grown up, so I get to choose. But
yes.
So I think that's a helpful thing. And you can also go look, because I don't stay home, I can go look at the app usage minutes by day, by week, and see, while it's their job to own it, if I'm not home all day, and they say, yeah, Mom, I was within bounds, I do have a way to go verify
exactly.
that they're being honest, maybe with themselves and with me.
Yeah. Oh, they won't be.
So they won't be honest.
No, because it's an addiction.
Yeah.
Like they're not, I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, totally.
I want you prepared and every other parent prepared for they're going to violate and you not to do any lecturing or guilting or shaming or how could you, we trusted you. No. Flat, oh, it won't be available to you tomorrow. It's no problem. You can try again the next day.
That is so de-escalating.
Totally.
Yes.
It's a privilege.
So I have seen there's some popularity around like technology agreements with kids, like where it's written out and like everybody signs it. Like that, hate that.
I think it's a great start, just like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like for the summer, it won't hold any water with them. It's taught to keep you going. And then, oh, I just need one more level or I just need to finish this or I'm like, just like you with us adults.
Yeah.
You get sucked in, completely sucked in. They have less control than you.
I like it. That's helpful. That is no problem.
It's no problem.
It's just not available to you tomorrow.
That's right. Calmly. Just as calm as you
But I'm going to be so bored
Sounds
if
like
I don't
a problem
have
for
any
you.
technology.
Sounds like a problem for you. I wonder what you'll do with that.
Yeah. And just leaving them in it forces them to get creative.
Yep. You're throwing a fit about your boredom or your thing. I'm just going to say, I hear that's a problem for you. I wonder what you'll do. And then I'm out of there. I am not staying to be the gas on your fire.
And that keeps us out of this nagging parent role,
Please.
too. Because that erodes our relationship with them.
Yes, it does. Parents speak way too many words. And kids, it's the Charlie Brown parent. Wah, 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 wah. They hear everything except you because we talk way too much. So please stop and say what's relevant and then have the consequence. No lecture.
Then leave.
Then leave. Let them sit in their disappointment. They're allowed to be disappointed. They're mad, they're frustrated, they're irritated, and ultimately it's at themselves. When you had expectations, this is your privilege, they violated it. I'm mad at you, but really I'm mad at myself. And that's true accountability. I'm mad at myself. When I realize it's my problem, oh, I also have the way to stop my problem. How do we cause our own suffering? You just caused it. I don't have to cause my own suffering tomorrow. I can manage it and then I get it the next day. No problem. You won't have it the next day. It's no problem.
So I'm beginning to envision myself having that kind of conversation. And then I'm having this internal compulsion that's feeling its way out. That's like this nurturing moment that's the next morning or a couple hours later that says like, honey, how are you feeling? Like sort of like helping them put it back together a little bit.
Great.
Do that or don't do that?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Out of the moment is great when all the emotions have calmed. We have rational brains.
Okay.
In it, stop talking.
Okay. Because it's just escalating.
Totally.
We're playing ping pong.
Yeah, well, you're trying to rationalize with somebody who's in their emotional limbic system. No, we don't. We don't. Stop. Save your energy.
But to come back around and say like, okay, that's okay.
Always.
Yeah, okay.
Out of the moment, it's all good to discuss those things. Out of the moment.
All right, I want to move into, you talk about being Plan B parent. Is that
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Plan C parent?
Well,
No, what's the book called?
don't stay away from option D.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to be a Plan B mom.
Yeah, good enough parent is
Yeah.
B.
If I think about being a Plan A parent, which is like the one who is just prepared doing the most.
Yeah, it has to be perfect.
Yes. Or a Plan B. I'm like, summer really ought to be a place where we do some intentional teaching and training too. It's not just sustaining and keeping everybody alive. It's like, it's a step change into the next year, into the next grade level they're in, into the next, I've got one moving from elementary to middle school. I've got one moving into her senior year. I've got one moving, whoop, it feels like this level up. So you have a framework that is about kind of this like age and task. Like, how do we give them this like stair-stepped executive capacity? How do we really get them to a place where they can function on their own? Can you talk about that a little bit, and how we also think about this, not just a season of discipline, not just a season of clear expectations, but also season of teaching and training?
Okay. So I know it's hard to see, but here we go. This is what you're referencing. That when they're born, they're age 0 to 18. When they're born, we're doing 100% of the tasks for them. They can't eat, sleep, poop without us. Okay. Then when they're 1, they can put the banana in their mouth. When they're 3, they can put their clothes on. When they're 5, they can sort the silverware. When they're 7, they can feed the dog. When they're 12, they can do the laundry. Like, we're supposed to basically hand everything over. So summer's a great time to have more time to teach, or give them opportunities to learn these things. Okay, this is the summer we're going to teach laundry, or this is the summer we're going to teach cooking. We're going to learn cooking, or we're going to learn sewing, or whatever. Those are great intentional things. And I like too asking, because you've got range, asking these kids what it is they want to learn this summer. Is there something that they want to have built into their summer that is important to them? And I've got kids, they like to go to their grandparents' lake with them. Okay, let's make sure we get that in, what do they want to? And then you can contribute with, I think I'm going to share this. I had a mom years ago, she's a therapist, and she would take a skill each summer and teach the older kids, like when they're teenagers, like the cooking or cleaning the house, how do you use a vacuum? All the things, so that they know how to do these things. I was picking up some alterations, and I watched a grown-up man walk in with a shirt on a hanger that had been dry cleaned. You could see he's carrying it in to the alterations people, and he said, "I want you to sew on the button." And my son was 13 at the time, and I just thought, that guy drove here with that shirt to sew for them. So he's going to leave it here, and then he's going to come back and drive here and pick it up and pay for that. And I was like, I went home immediately, and he was 13. And I was like, Charlie, I got to teach you right now how to sew a button on, because I was going to tell you what I just saw, and I don't ever want that to happen to you. And he has these big, paws, and so it was just like a couple weeks ago, I said to him, I go, do you remember how to sew a button on? He goes, yes, Mom.
I do, I know.
He's 27.
I know. Well, I think summer is a time to let them be messy and have it take a long time.
Yes, that's right.
My 17 and 14-year-old, I'm going to have them cook dinner once a week. I said, you can do it together. You can alternate. You guys can figure out how. I don't really care. You can order groceries on your own. You can put it in my weekly order. I don't really care how you do it, but you're going to pick a day and we're going to have you guys make dinner. And I'm like, it will take them forever for a while.
Great.
Yeah, the kitchen will be a mess for a while.
That's right.
The meat will be done and the green beans will be raw. And all of those mistakes, learning moments that you have, they'll have a chance to just work through it because they've got all summer long.
I love that.
We don't have that luxury in the school version of our schedule.
Yes.
And so I'm really excited about it for them.
Oh, and they will feel so capable. They'll resist at first, like they do. We all resist new things. And then they will feel so good about themselves. You'll watch, oh, I know how to do this. And remember when, even the siblings, oh, remember when you made that for us? Like, they will feel so capable. That's beautiful.
Well, it came from two things. One is I want actually to play more pickleball this summer.
Okay,
and I
great.
was like, how do I get rid of some things I'm doing?
Okay.
I was like, oh, that would be great for them. And it gives me an evening where I can, make sure they're prepped, but just maybe go and do that and come home and be like, I can't wait to eat dinner.
Perfect.
And then
Because they're capable right here.
They're super capable.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like my daughter's going to be going off to school, and I'm like, this will be, and give them something to all do together.
Yeah. Were they receptive?
Yeah. But
Okay.
I gave them, I told them a week or so ago, which was early April. So they had almost a 2-month heads up that it's coming. And that has helped because they're like starting a Pinterest board. And I think if I would have said, hey, you guys are going to do dinner once a week and you're starting tomorrow, it would have stressed them out.
Yeah, that's
But-
not notice. Again, give them notice.
Yeah, but they're like, oh, that, and then, yeah, I heard them telling their little sisters about it. And so, yeah, they're excited about it.
I love that. Usually on vacations, like when you rent a beach house or something, I would say like, boys, you're getting a night, girls are getting a night, teenagers. It's like, it's a great thing. It's great.
Okay, for the mom who's heading into summer saying this is, like I said, like this is always our hardest season, how can she get her head in the right place for this to be the best season?
Collaborate, plan some things, get your kids involved so they have buy-in, expectation setting, consequence setting. Yeah, you can't just go in crossing your fingers, reactive parenting, hoping it works. Be proactive.
And to the woman who says, I'm so reactive, I don't have time to be proactive,
You're going to have a rough time.
I can't wait to see what you do with that problem.
How do we cause our own suffering, Tiffany?
How do you stop causing your own suffering?
My yoga teacher this morning, she said, if a problem keeps occurring, you're the problem.
We'll close on that. I love it. We've done our best to tell you what to do. If you decide to stay in your chaos, we're excited to watch how you handle that.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny. Summer does not have to be something that we just survive, but it does have to be something that you decide. Decide what your kids are capable of and then let them prove it to you and to them. Decide what you want and put it on the calendar before someone else fills it. Decide what agreements your family is going to operate by and write them down so you aren't renegotiating every single day. Michelle always reminds me that our kids are not lesser people. They're just newer ones. And the summer is one of the best opportunities we have to treat them like the capable, contributing people that they are becoming. So let's go into the summer with a plan. Let's go into it with a little bit of grace for ourselves and have the expectation that it can be the best summer yet. And don't forget, you too are a customer of summer.